You know, I talk on here all the time about how the NBA is a players' league. The NFL is a owners' league. The logo on the helmet, the logo at the 50-yard line, that is the star in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys, for instance. Whether or not the Cowboys are good or bad, they are going to be featured nationally every year. In the NBA, it doesn't matter where LeBron James plays. When he was in Cleveland, the Cavs, national television every week, sometimes multiple times a week. Soon as LeBron leaves Cleveland, the Cavs return to their rightful place of irrelevance in the league. We are seeing right now just how much of an impact a superstar player can have in the NBA and the market where he's playing. On Friday, the reports coming out were saying that the majority of NBA general managers were favoring a proposal for the league to jump right into the playoffs once play resumed. If you think about it, it really makes sense. We're in June now. The clock is ticking for the NBA. If they want to start next season on Christmas Day, they have got to finish this season as soon as possible. So, a majority of NBA general managers, they want to jump right into the playoffs. To hell with the rest of the regular season. Take the top 8 teams in each conference from where they were when the league was shut down. That is our playoff field. But NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said, whoa. Hold up a second. That plan is no bueno. We cannot do that because if we jump right into the playoffs, we are prematurely eliminating someone that we desperately need in the playoffs. And that's Zion Williamson. I'm sorry, Ja Morant. Sorry, fans of the Memphis Grizzlies. You're the team that gets fucked in this situation. If the NBA were to head straight for the playoffs, Ja Morant and the Grizzlies would be the 8th seed in a first-round matchup with LeBron and the Lakers. People are already coming out and saying, that's not fair. Adam Silver is tweaking things to get Zion Williamson into the playoffs over the Grizzlies. And you're damn right he is. And it's the right decision. And I'm not saying this because I'm a diehard fan of the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm saying this because it's the right business decision by Adam Silver. Seriously, which matchup would you rather see in the first round? Ja Morant versus LeBron, Grizzlies, Lakers, or Zion Williamson versus LeBron, Pelicans, Lakers? The answer's obvious. Ratings for Zion Williamson's debut game back in January were up 88% over the same time period in 2019. They were up 129% over 2018. It was the most watched game of the NBA regular season that did not involve the Lakers or that didn't happen on Christmas Day. There have always been these conspiracy theories in the NBA that the league favors star players, the league favors big market teams. And favoring star players, that is 100% fact. Here's what ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst said the other day about the league tweaking things to ensure Zion Williamson was involved in the playoffs. Quote, one of the things I've been hearing as I've talked to people in the league is the league is going to set up the playoffs to make sure Zion Williamson is involved. Paranoia is at the top of the list with anything in the NBA. They're always paranoid about everything. The league is screwing me, and they're helping that guy. In this case, there's a number of different reasons why the league would want to have 20 or 24 teams. A number of different reasons to get extra games. But most of those scenarios include making sure having Zion Williamson in the postseason. I think it's important to point out, this is not just the teams in 7th or 8th place. If you look at the Western Conference, the difference between the number 4 seed Utah Jazz and the number 7 seed Dallas Mavericks is 1 victory. They're very tightly packed too. It's not just a matter of getting in. They don't want to have to win their way back in after they played 65 games to get in position. When you look at these proposals, it basically involves adding extra West teams and making sure the 10th place, or including at least, the 10th place New Orleans Pelicans. End quote. So the league is going to set up a play-in style tournament before the playoffs, which will determine the 16 teams that make it into the postseason. And trust me, the way this tournament is going to be set up, it will be Zion friendly. They are going to do everything in their power to ensure Zion and the Pelicans get that number 8 seed. Now, some people are calling bullshit on this, saying that it would actually be better for the league long term if Ja Morant and the Grizzlies played the Lakers in the first round. Their argument is that Zion Williamson is already a megastar. He's always going to be a star, and most people nationally have never seen Ja Morant play. If Memphis played the Lakers in the first round, it would give the NBA the opportunity to create another young superstar player in Ja Morant. And that's a valid point. I'll admit it. That is a valid point. But here's the problem. The NBA isn't worried about long term right now. They're not worried about the next year or the next 5 years. They are worried about right now. The league is losing millions upon millions of dollars every day that games are not being played. When play does resume, the NBA is going to need to make as much money as they can from the TV rights during the playoffs. Revenue is going to be lost from ticket sales, which is about 40% of league revenue, because these games are not going to be played in the team's home arenas. The bottom line is the NBA needs guys in the playoffs that can move the needle, that can draw big ratings. And Ja Morant is not at that point yet. He's not a superstar. He's not a megastar. And that's not to say that he won't be in the future. I think he will. But we're talking about right now, today. And today, Zion Williamson will have the entire country rushing to their TV to watch his matchup with LeBron James. I mean, the stories in a Lakers-Pelicans first-round matchup, they write themselves. Anthony Davis playing his former team, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, playing against the team that deemed that they were not good enough to play alongside LeBron James. The past versus the present, LeBron versus Zion. Unfortunately for Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, there aren't any storylines in a Grizzlies-Lakers series. And storylines matter in the NBA, in the playoffs especially. You look back at classic playoff series, the series that we remember years later, there is usually some type of drama that's tied to it. Michael Jordan going up against Isaiah Thomas and the Bad Boy Pistons. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Reggie Miller against the Knicks. 10 years ago, LeBron versus Dwight Howard. At that time, people were debating which one is going to be the bigger superstar. The Celtics' big three of Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett against Kobe and the Lakers. So yes, the fix is in. Adam Silver's going to do everything in his power to get Zion Williamson into the playoffs. The NBA is always accused of taking care of big market teams. And the notion is that small market teams always get shit on. But the league pushing for Zion Williamson and the Pelicans to get into the playoffs disproves that altogether. It is not about market size anymore in the NBA. Now, is the league better when the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Knicks are relevant? Of course it is. But that's because of the tradition behind those teams. This is not the 1980s and the 1990s anymore. Market size today really does not matter. Zion Williamson can be just as big of a star in New Orleans as he can be in Los Angeles or New York. Now, that doesn't mean that the market you play in doesn't matter. It does. We saw how LeBron James couldn't get guys to come play with him when he was in Cleveland. Giannis having that same problem in Milwaukee. Atlanta, major market. I think Atlanta is the 5th biggest media market in the country. I don't see free agents lining up to sign with the fucking Hawks. Adam Silver is doing all he can to get Zion and the Pelicans into the playoffs. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to win the games to get in. Adam Silver can only do so much. The Pelicans were really starting to come together before the league was shut down. New Orleans was 11-8 in the 19 games that Zion played in. And that 19-game stretch at the time was the toughest schedule in the league. I know it's a tough pill for fans in Memphis to swallow. If I were a fan of the Grizzlies, I would be pissed off about it too. But I think that Adam Silver and the NBA are going to get what they want, and that is a Lakers-Pelicans in the first round of the playoffs. That's all for today. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for me. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Appreciate you guys that have already done so. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. Appreciate it. Leave me a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think about Adam Silver doing what he can to get Zion Williamson and the Pelicans into the playoffs. Do you think it's the right decision? Let me know your thoughts. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. If you have any questions, send them to BTLKC84@gmail.com. I will see you guys next time.